Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com. And thank you for tuning in to Past the Wire TV to get caught up on everything that's happening in the sport of kings this past week. What's coming up? We'll cover it all real quick, and we'll start by going back to just a phenomenal race at Ascot last Saturday morning to start the weekend off. An incredible performance by Godolphin's Adair. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but I'm sure that is one runner. He became the first horse since Galileo. Interestingly enough, the same year that Galileo passed, and we lost that phenomenal sire and racehorse. But the first since Galileo to win the Epsom Derby and the King George Queen Elizabeth double. So that just shows you how tough that is to do, and what an accomplishment that was. Beating a heck of a field, which included Love, who was just highly regarded, and Godolphin's on a tear. We saw them come in and run 1-2 in the Belmont Oaks, and then the same two fillies come and run 1-2 back in a Grade 1 Diana up at Saratoga. Charlie Appleby and Godolphin are just on a tear across the globe. And the scary thing about Adair is that Hurricane Lane, their other horse, might even be better than him. I'm not even sure who's better between those two, but you've got two nice colts, they're just Godolphin's really on a tear. Hopefully that was a win in your in race for the Breeders' Cup. Hopefully we'll get to see Adair, Hurricane Lane, Love, some of these European stars. Really quite an ensemble. Was hoping to see Stradivarius on Wednesday go for his 5th win at Goodwood in the Gold Cup, but he scratched, according to John Gosden, because of the way the ground came up. So that's obviously not going to happen this year. But what a stayer he is. You know, with all the negative talk about racing being dead, and in a lot of ways, I'll be the first to admit it's on life support, but we've got some great horses over the past decade, even beyond. You know, whatever happens in the game, the great horses continue. I mean, we had great ones way back when. We've got great ones all along, and they just keep coming, which is a phenomenal part of this game. Whatever else is wrong with it, that isn't. We get our share of great horses all over the world. Saratoga, Graveyard of Champions, been called that for a long time. Upset beat Man of War, and those upsets been happening there ever since. Malathat, latest one, goes down at the hands of Maracuja in the Coaching Club American Oaks. I don't know how short a price she was, very 2 to 5, 1 to 5, something like that. Looked that way on paper. Went to the league, just got run down, nosed out. Irad Ortiz took Clariere out, put a little pressure on her early. That seemed to weaken her up for Maracuja's late run under Ricardo Santana, who, interestingly enough, usually rides for Steve Asmussen, didn't in this case, but got the win on Maracuja and with a hell of a ride. And it was an exciting race. They came down to the wire. They were fighting it out. Malathat hung in over, at that point, a winless at Saratoga, John Velasquez. He did get a win for Wesley Ward shortly after. That first one is, probably gotten him off the donut and off the schneid, which he was certainly on. And who would have thought that you'd be 2 weeks into Del Mar and Saratoga and see Johnny Velasquez and Bob Baffert without a win? But they both got their wins. Baffert doubled up. He won the 2 maiden special weight races to open the card on Sunday. Back to back, bing bing, first and second race. Johnny got his winner, so that is added away. Coming up, a lot of action coming up. Both meets are heating up, but this weekend I think the excitement for me is at Saratoga because you got the 3-year-olds. You got first captain for Shug trying to stay undefeated in the curling on Friday. Interesting spot because the Jim Dandy is on Saturday, and he opted for the what promises to be easier spot, and his colt's undefeated. I'm sure if he wins, he would like to point for the Travers, but he's going to let the horse take him there, not the other way around, which we all know Shug does. It's one of his specialties, one of the reasons why he's so great. He lets the horse tell him where to run, not tell the horse where to run, and that's an art in and of itself. That said, if first captain wins and points to the Travers, he's probably going to have to deal with Essential Quality, who runs on Saturday in the Jim Dandy, and might be part of the reason why Shug took the conservative approach and went for the curling on Friday. The Jim Dandy, more 3-year-olds, another exciting race with Essential Quality, the 2-year-old champ, Belmont winner in there, and everybody looking ahead at the Travers. So we'll see how that all shakes out. The racing's just really heating up. The meets, Saratoga and Del Mar, are both 2 weeks in. At Del Mar, might not have been a big stake, but it was a stake, and TVG put out a helmet cam video on Umberto Rispoli, who went from last to first on Brando the Bartender. And if you could find it on social media or on TVG's website, I suggest you do it, because Brando the Bartender was last. You could kind of ride with him all the way around, and you could see when Flavian Prat moved his horse and shot, Rispoli didn't wait a second. You can tell just by, if you're a race watcher and a fan and a student of the game, you can almost get inside Umberto's head and see that when Pratt went, he knew that's the horse to beat. He goes, I go, and bing, bing. It was like a split-second reaction, 1-2, and he run him down and got up for the win under Brando the Bartender, who's a hell of a nice, versatile racehorse. I mean, wins all different distances, all different surfaces, been hanging around a long time, competing in, maybe not at the grade 1 level, but at the graded stakes level and restricted and listed stakes level, and just a really tough horse not to like and admire for his heart, and a heck of a ride by Umberto. Him and Pratt are 2 phenomenal riders, and to watch that move and those 2 guys competing that way was really fun on the sporting side of the game. And if you're into the sporting side and race riding and that kind of thing, definitely try and check out that video, because it's absolutely worth it. We all know Bob Baffert won his injunction against Naira for banning him from running there without there being any due process or violation of any of the Naira rules. It all resulted from the Medina Spirit beta-methasone positive following the Kentucky Derby. He gets his injunction, and now we find out he's going to probably run Gamine, who's probably the star sprinting filly in the country right now, certainly the top one, in the Ballerina, a win in your in race at Saratoga, I believe on Travers Day. Good spot. I don't know if Bob's going to come himself. It's got to be an awkward situation. I'm sure he'd love to win it and get into the Breeders' Cup with Gamine, which is at Del Mar this year. But it's an interesting thing. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how the New York fans in Saratoga welcome or don't welcome Bob coming in. If he comes in, he may send Jimmy Barnes, may not, may just send the horse to John Terranova like he has with several others in the past. we'll see how that plays out. We know he's at Del Mar competing, racing over there. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll close out with a little talk on You're to Blame, who won an off-the-turf race at Saratoga the other day on a drying out off-track for Orlando Noda. Monster race the horse ran, and it started a little bit of buzz, not only on TV, but also on social media. People questioned where this form reversal came from, and did so with a little bit of an implication that it might not have been under legit. But I'll tell you, I didn't really see the race that way at all. First off, I'll say this. Horses with back class, okay, older horses with back class have been running freak races over Saratoga off tracks every now and again, popping up and just running one as far back as I could remember. And you never know where the races come from. Some of those old back class horses just love that track, especially when it's a certain kind of muddy or certain kind of sloppy or certain kind of sealed or drying out. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they come up with these freak races. So we've seen that happen before. And if you go back historically, you'll find horses that have run that way with no insinuations or innuendos being made. You're to blame. It really wasn't that much of a head scratcher, and I'll be the first to say when a race is a head scratcher, I thought You're to Blame was very live. Did I think he's going to win like that? But no, we often don't think horses are going to win like that. But sometimes a race is better than it looked or worse than it looked, and I don't think that race is all that, even though it looked that way. I'm not a biased guy, so I don't really go by that. I look more at the times of the race. Yeah, he ran fast, but like I said, it was a sealed, drying out track. And really, what did he beat? He beat an off-the-turf field with one horse who was a dirt horse, Dak Daniels. What a tongue twister that is, I think it was. He was running back off short rest off a win at the meet already, and we're only 2 weeks in. I don't know how many days back he was running off, but he was running back quick, didn't fire at all, looked very tired in the lane, just a toss-out race for him. And the rest were really off the turf, horses. And, You're to Blame had a lot of back class, was cutting back and was catching a field that he was just better than, and he just got confident. And I don't see the question like, where did this race come from, or how did anybody see that coming? I just didn't see it in that case. If I did, I'd say it. I didn't. I think Orlando Noda did a good job with that horse. They were looking to buy that horse privately. They were looking to claim him when he was in for 80. They wound up buying him privately, and they did a good job with him. They that barn mixes it up, does different things, and they caught a little flack in the way of innuendos for it, and I don't see in that race that anything like that was warranted at all. It was no big surprise or big mystery where that race came from. And Tom Amoss, who's an excellent trainer and horseman, said as much himself on the, I think it's the Fox broadcast, that sometimes we see that happen. That said, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with Saratoga today, tomorrow morning, Wednesday, the first day of the third week of the meet. Looks like a pretty nice card. Every morning on Past the Wire TV, we've got Saratoga Today, where we talk about some horses. We had some nice ones last week, a 26-1 shot that got beat at the wire, a 9-1 shot the same day that held on and just won at the wire. So hopefully we'll heat up a little bit for the third week. The rain, everything always plays a factor, but we've got Saratoga Today every race morning on Past the Wire TV on the YouTube channel. We also try and get it out on social media, but if we don't, you could always tune into the YouTube channel or go to pastthewire.com and see it. Tracking Trips is heating up a little bit. We've got trip notes and horses to watch on there. If you're so inclined, you can go there on pastthewire.com as well and check it out. There's samples of what we offer up there. And enjoy the races. We're going into the third week and things are heating up. It's going to be a fun summer in the sport of kings. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you share some of it with us and ride along with us. And thank you for tuning in. We will see you in the morning. Ciao for now.
Cloud Computing outside. Classic Empire head to head down to the line. Cloud Computing wins the Preakness.
nobody does it better.